Hey guys, once again a little player review, or actually kind of a little show and tell of some of my mini guitars. For this video I'm gonna take a kind of a, what do they call it, oddball or whatever, but something kind of out of the blue, which any guesses in a typical self-marketing style, take your guess about what kind of guitar this is and write it in the comments below. Do that now before I tell you. It doesn't say anything anywhere. Okay. Or, you know, don't. And so this is actually I think this was about, it was back in about 2016. I came into the guitar shop where I have worked many years earlier, and where I actually am currently also again. Came into the shop, and these cheap guitars came into the shop. I have a black one of these, and I have this sunburst one, which is a little bit more yellow-orange tinted than I normally like, and the the fading between the colors is not especially nice on this one. I love sunburst colors, but I like more like deep orange. This has kind of a black, kind of a red stripe, and then just that 50s, a little too yellow to my taste. So it's definitely not the most beautiful sunburst I've ever seen by any means. But you know, from a distance, it's not too bad, and it's yeah, it's the color. It's actually quite actually a great guitar, and I'm shocked every time I pick it up. It's been a while since I've had this in my hands, but I just took the dust off of it. And okay, so this this guitar that I saw in the guitar shop that day was this one and a few other ones of the same. And these guitars are actually Tanglewood, believe it or not. Tanglewood guitars. I actually I've done so much to this guitar. Only the wood is the original stuff here. Because everything else on the guitar was complete crap. But I really like the neck. Like, I really like the neck, and I still do. So I changed the tuners on here, and then I just took some sandpaper, different kind of grid numbers, and just sanded this logo away, actually on both sides, so it doesn't say anything here. And I did the same thing to the black one. One thing is that I think it's when you come across a very nice guitar, it's kind of a shame when people label the quality of the guitar immediately when they see a certain brand, especially a cheap brand, of course, and they will think it's crap. So that's actually one of the reasons why I just took it off, and also because this guitar has become, and the other one too, has become a completely modded, souped up guitar that has nothing to do with the original Tanglewood, except for the most important stuff, which is the woods. So anyway, so that's what I did here. I put on a round string tree here, just because I love the look of these round telly ones, and I've done that on half of my guitars, I think. And the other ones, most of the other ones have Fender roller nuts. And then I took some. I'm pretty sure these are some Wilkinson. Also a little on the cheap side, but definitely a crazy good upgrade for this one, because all the electronics and hardware on the original Tanglewood were complete garbage. It's just thrown out in the bin. There's no use for it whatsoever. But the wood is very nice, like really nice, really crazy what you come across when working in a guitar shop. So these are actually pretty nice tuners. I really prefer tuners with a little bit smaller heads, or tuning pegs, is that the right word? Up here. I definitely, my most favorite ones are the vintage kind, where you cut the string and stick it into the tuner. These are just normal modern ones not a locking tuner, just straight normal, but I like the design of these smaller ones. And I put on black just for the fun of it, to do something different. Yeah. And so you can kind of, maybe you can see it here, like that. Yeah. Okay, so that's kind of, so I was thinking for a long time, and maybe I will at some point, just to get my autograph on this one, but in a way that would be more fun to do on a more premium guitar. But you know, this feels amazing and it sounds amazing, so why not? You know, actually, just when talking about it right now, I kind of want to do that, but I've never dealt with that decal stuff, water soak in white wine for 9 years or whatever. But I think I want to look into that. That could be pretty nice. The other thing, I hate sharp edges on guitar design of all kind, this is too sharp for my taste, and that's another reason why I probably don't use this. I haven't really used it. I've never played a gig on this guitar, but actually right now, when just talking about this guy and playing it a little bit right now, I think it's not so bad, because I really dislike the Ibanez pointy stuff. I can't stand it, even though Ibanez and a lot of all the other brands of that style can be completely amazing quality-wise. This is just personal preference, and but this is kind of in the middle, and it's just enough, rounded enough to me to actually look nice, kind of. So, what do you think? And I'm pretty sure it's a plastic nut, but it's rolled out pretty smoothly here, and the frets are completely amazing. There's not even the slightest fret sprout here. I could no scratching at all. And the other thing, this neck is so good. The action is completely amazing, just from the way that it is, and it's the same thing with the other one. So I can tell you right now, I'm sorry, I don't really know if they have a lot of different Tanglewood models. But if you feel like modding a guitar, Squire and is always a nice choice to fool around with. But this is even cheaper, and it's I would say this is about the same quality as the classic Vibe guitars, and it only cost about half of that when I got this. So this is like an Affinity guitar price, Squire Affinity, but it's immensely better than the Affinity series. There's no comparison there. But that's only if we're talking about the wood and the fretwork. Everything else is crap on here. So the only reason to do this is if you want to invest time and money on some different parts to have still a cheap and very nice and fun guitar that you did yourself, kind of. So this is kind of it's kind of somewhere in between a C and a D shape, and it's a little bit slimmer than like a Fender Player series, a little bit thinner, but just slightly. It's by no means is it a shredder guitar definitely not. So I really enjoy this neck. That's the best part of the whole guitar, this neck. So big thumbs up from here if you feel like fooling around. Okay, so I did so many other things here. I also changed the bridge. Don't have to do that, but I did it because I had a nice one lying around. I need to check what the right word is there. This is also some kind of Wilkinson, but I have no idea what the model or anything is. It's a Strat 2-point tremolo, and it's really nice. This one has black screws and black springs on there, and it's set up quite tightly, just very slight floating. Actually, it's not floating in that sense. It's it can only pitch down, you know. It's laying flat on the yeah. I kind of like sometimes I like a little bit floating, sometimes I like completely flat, or just no tremolo at all, you know, hardtail. I kind of like it all if it's done properly, but I would say most of the time I'm leaning towards hardtail because I hate going out of tune when bending. Very simple. Okay, and then I just threw in some great pickups I had lying around. So the neck pickup here, and we'll listen to them in a second. The neck pickup is DiMarzio, and it's actually because I was fooling around with the kind of the Andy Timmons idea of pickup combination, and he uses, you know, those cruiser bridge pickups, but kind of in all positions. He has one signature guitar for Ibanez that has a signature humbucker, and then these cruiser bridge version of them. There's also a cruiser neck middle one, but that can be kind of an underwound pickup with this humbucking in single coil sized. So trying to get that humbucker to sound so single coilish, it gets too underwound and it loses kind of the touch dynamic and responsiveness and kind of that nice reactive feel when a pickup is too underwound. Most of you have probably tried that at one point. On the other hand, I can't stand overwound pickups that just becomes too like Texas Specials or something, because they just lose all the clarity and all the details in. I want to be able to hear if I'm using this pick or another thickness or another kind of material or whatever, and with too hot or overwound pickups, that stuff kind of goes away. But so the normal cruiser pickups are too underwound for my taste, and I guess for Andy Timmons as well, since he uses the bridge version of the cruiser in all positions, or at least here, and then a humbucker here. But then some years ago, a newer version of his Andy Timmons signature guitar came out, just with single coil sized, all of them, and I'm pretty sure that they all had the cruiser bridge version everywhere. I think so, actually. Okay, so but that's what's in the neck. Then I have I'm struggling to remember exactly. It's the I should have researched the DiMarzio website before talking about this guitar, but this one is I've kind of messed around with it. This is more humbuckerish, and it's actually kind of supposed to sound a bit like a PAF in a single coil size. So it's the, or maybe it'll come back to me, or maybe you can write it in the comments if you know. There's a version 1 and 2 of those. I just forgot the name of it. And this is the version 1, because version 2 is a very hot one. Don't get that one if you're into anything like me. Maybe I'll remember it and I'll write it or something. So, and I actually bought that to be in the neck position, but I kind of I found it fun to put it more like this. And also this pickup, which is actually really nice sounding, is a cheap Hot Rail copy by some brand named Boston that I had in my drawer for, I don't know, 6, 7, or 8 years or something, that I never unpacked. And then when I did this guitar like 1.5 years ago, like I've had it in, I've had other pickup combinations in here that I didn't care for so much. I also actually had some MIDI pickup installed here, as you can see, with some holes, and that was quite fun as well. But I just really don't like that chunky, ugly plastic one here from that Roland Boss thing. But maybe I'll put it on something again, because I think it's fun to play around with. And I still have some. I have a GR20 and a GR33. And I actually, last year I did a recording with my jazz trio. I actually did 2 full albums, but they are not released yet, where I'm using my Godin semi-acoustic guitar that has the GK output, and then I'm using pads and Rhodes sounds and stuff from. I really like the way it turned out, but I've been too busy to actually put it out yet. That acoustic synth acoustic album, inspired a lot by John McLaughlin in the 90s and stuff like that. Anyway, I'm talking a lot here. Maybe I should play a little bit for you. And thanks if you're still hanging out or hanging in here. Thank you. Then just no, I actually put in my own preamp in this one as well, like I've done in a few of my other guitars, just like a buffer. So there is a battery and a little PCB that I just built myself, and then it's low impedance output instead of high impedance, which makes the volume pot completely even at all in all its travel, tonally. It's a real pleasure to have a buffer in the guitar and having it sound good. It's so nice to have a volume pot that just sounds right all the way. It's just, and also the path. What's it called? I forgot the name. I just had it. But yeah, the travel here is very even, all from 1 to 10. So really nice. I have several guitars that I put in like passive triple bleeds things. It can work too, and it's nice not to have a battery inside here. But I must say, building a simple buffer in here with a battery, it's my all-time preferred way of doing it. It feels so good, and the sound seems much more powerful, or seems like it has more sustain, kind of like there's more a signal to work with, not just volume, but it seems like it gets some great stuff out of the best sound to my ears out of all the guitars when I do that. So now I'm actually sitting and thinking if I should do more of those buffers in because I have many guitars just with a simple treble bleed installed. I like that too, and it's much quicker. And yeah, when you have more than 30 guitars, it's just getting crazy, you know. Someday maybe. But this one has that buffer in here and a battery, and it's crazy good. I use a buffer schematic from the Klon pedal that so many vintage loving guitar players kind of adore, that Klon overdrive pedal, and it's the buffer segment of that pedal that I'm building into all the guitars. It's very simple. It's just an op amp with a few components around it. Yeah. Very similar to guitar amp inputs and outputs and all overdrive pedals in the world and all buffered pedals in the world. It's so similar, that stuff. There's so much marketing craziness in. Anyway, I'm talking a bit too much. So CTS parts in here, quality, and a better switch. I don't remember what, and of course a better jack switchcraft. I think so. Stereo, so you know, save battery life, and that's about all the words I can sum up for this guitar. And if you're still here, let me play a little. By the way, right now there's an election here in Denmark, and all I believe is love, nature, and people, taking good care of people that have difficulties, and I'm completely uninterested in business people. So and in Denmark, it's so I think 90% of the Danish population right now is. I did go to vote today, like almost everyone in Denmark does, and everybody in Denmark is watching. I just saw a little bit of it, but everybody's watching the counting of the votes and stuff. I'm not even sure if I believe there is a democracy. I think maybe everything is just a big scam. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about it, but I just find it funny that I'm sitting here talking to you YouTube guys with my guitar while most of the country is glued to the television. Okay, I'll play a little around in the different pickup positions, and then we'll try some overdrive from a straight up stock blues driver. Yeah. I really like the sound of this guitar and these pickups. And that brings me to another thing. I'm such a massive fan of rail pickups in general. And when you get a combination that really sounds nice together, like I think this one does, it's just kind of a really unusual and magical tone. There's so much sustain in it, and it has such a nice kind of a splanky attack that's very hard to And I have to, I must admit that actually when I'm playing this guitar with this kind of pickup sound, and I kind of feel I'm playing the most kind of original version of myself, because this particular setup and sound kind of melts the boundaries between my passion for that simpler Mark Knopfler stuff, Stratty sound, and my fusion love affair with Alan Holdsworth and Mike Stern and stuff like that. It seems, and Robin Ford somewhere in between, this kind of pickup mix. You know, I've gotten so much hassle for sounding like Mike Stern over my whole life, and I don't really care about all that negativity, but this is actually could be fun to do an album with this sound setup. I really like it. Also, this neck sounds really wonderful tonally. Like when I snap, it's very it's just very beautifully. The dynamic is, it's not like pokey, like a lot of cheaper guitar, like kind of almost all of the cheaper guitars are kind of have that some frequencies are just the attack is just biting you, and that can be just not in the treble but just in the mid range, so it's very unbearable, and you need to compensate in some way. But these kind of warm pickups and this wood just makes it that's why it sounds so great, because you can really snap the strings with a very musical. I really love it. So this is, I've only played the position 2 right now. Let's hear the bridge pickup. And also with these rail humbugging pickups, you get in most of them you get a very nice harmonic rich overtone thing. It's very easy to pinch out some nice overtones. And that's one of the reasons also why snapping the strings sounds pretty good here, is because it brings out, it kills a little bit, when you snap the string, it kills a bit of the main note, the root note, or whatever you want to call it, and the overtones are brought out a little more. And when you have pickups that accentuate that, it's kind of beautiful to play. Another thing is a Seymour Duncan Hot Wheel pickup, which is actually a nice pickup. It's very dark in the treble area. This one is pretty dark too, not quite as much, but almost. The Seymour Duncan, the resistance of that one is about 16 kilo ohms, which is outrageously much high. This one, I think I measured it about 12. And it seems like it's, to me, kind of a great humbucker for the bridge. That means you have singles of around 6K, and when you start to go below that 5-6K per coil, it gets underwound. And but of course there's so many other factors that contribute to the sound of the pickup, but that's my general experience. If you go below 5.5K or something per coil, it doesn't matter if you put them together in but then they will be underwound. And a PAF style humbucker, which is around, I think, 7 or 8K or something, are of course underwound, but can still sound quite beautiful, especially in the neck. But when you put a PAF style in the bridge, I think you need, and that's why when you buy kind of a set, I love the Seth Lover, Seymour Duncan's Seth Lover humbucking set. It's the best PAF style set there is, period. I've tried everyone's take on it. And of course in that set the bridge pickup is a little bit hotter, just because of the nature of the bridge position. So anyway, mostly don't go below 5K per coil or something like that. Maybe in the neck position you can go lower than that, but I definitely wouldn't do that in the bridge. So that's the bridge pickup with a clean sound. And I forgot to tell you that that tune I was just playing sounds great on the bridge pickup as well. It gets a little bit more Alan Holdsworthy vibe. But most of the time I like the position too. That's one of my songs that you may have heard on my YouTube, but if you want to hear it for real, go to my Spotify and search for Shattered Glass. That's the title. We recorded it last year with my jazz trio there, and I think it came out great. And you can also watch some of my live versions on YouTube. Shattered Glass. Here's the middle pickup, which is that kind of PAF goal in a single coil, but in the middle position. So it's kind of a funny thing. And for very rarely, this position 2 actually works here because the neck pickup is quite single coilish, so it doesn't get overpowering in the bottom end. And that's kind of why I chose the hottest one and the medium and then the lowest output one in the neck. Many times people will do like HSH, like hot, single coil, hot, kind of. I've always found it a little bit hard to navigate in sound-wise. I actually kind of prefer this hot, medium, lower here, but of course that makes it harder to play if I want to play with a straight up jazzy neck tone. That's so whatever you want to do. Let's compare it to position 2. I love it so much more in position 2. It has a little bit more mid-range snap. But this has a more clear top end, mainly because of the neck pickup, which we're gonna hear now. That pickup, the Cruiser Bridge, and right now it actually sounds very Andy Timmons-ish. Maybe even a little bit Eric Johnson kind of, but his sound is much more not so fat, more traditional single coil. So if you like a really nicely powerful but balanced Strat neck pickup, noiseless, completely noiseless, it's just uber quiet, this guitar. So if you like that, then the Cruiser Bridge is an awesome Strat pickup. But just bear in mind that it will not sound in any way. If you try to play funk with it or pop, stuff like that, I think it sounds great with this setup, but if you try to do it in a regular funky or pop sound environment, it will probably be too fat a pickup sound. But if you like that kind of in between and really it really sounds great. Nice attack and beefy, and sustain is just for hours. This is completely clean into a like crazy clean amplifier. There's no drive circuit anywhere in this setup. It's just clean. I'm only using an equalizer as a preamp. That's it. And just and it really sounds amazing. Let's try it with the blues driver and hear some sounds. Here's still the neck pickup. Maybe use a pick for blues here. Maybe without first. Maybe a little fizzy, but that's kind of a blues driver. A stock blues driver is very prone to getting fizzy when you kind of max out the gain. It's great for low gain. But easily gets fizzy, especially with a pickup that has a little single coil quality. On the other hand, when you use a real humbucker in the bridge here, high gain outlet. And still after that stunt. Going back to the clean, it's by no means a disappointment. It's not weak sounding, it's still really beautiful, fat with clarity. So this is my completely modded Tanglewood Strat, would you believe it? And this is probably the longest gear video I've ever done, almost an hour now. So maybe you have been gone for several days and watching the end of this, like for the 5th time coming back or whatever. But if you're still here, thanks for hanging out. This is my Sunburst, kind of Tanglewood, but kind of homemade guitar at this point. And yeah, big thumbs up for the pickups and the wood of this guitar. DiMarzio's, and actually a cheap Boston one here. And then the other thing, this is cream, as you can see, color, and so I use cream knobs here. Then just for fun, these DiMarzio pickups, they have like black blades, but you can change the color of the, and I had some black and white, so I thought it would be fun to just do something else. So cream, white, black, cream, white, black. That was kind of my idea. And black tuners. Yeah. I will see you. Maybe I will see you again. If you like this kind of atmospheric, kind of jazzy stuff, please go to my Spotify and listen to some of my albums there. It's a little bit of a mess there right now. I have to kind of take it all, most of it, all the old stuff, I have to take it down, upload it fresh, all my old albums with under different band names and all kinds of craziness. And I will probably do a remaster of all my old albums sometimes in the beginning of the next year and put them on. But right now you can go to my profile, Stefan Brix, at Spotify, and hear 3 albums with my jazz trio. We have 2 acoustic, me on acoustic with some synth sound layered as well. We have 2 albums coming out with that next year, and we also have 2 more albums. One where it's kind of a ballad stuff with a Strat style sound, more single coil-y sounding, mostly ballad stuff with my jazz trio. The one I call Dream Team, Stefan Brix Dream Team jazz trio. And then one more album with that is a quartet where we have a piano player on a bunch of a lot of jazz burning straight ahead stuff on that one with some craziness. So that's actually right now 4 albums coming out soon. I'll post a video talking about it. Yeah, I'm just way too busy right now to work on all that stuff that I would love to do right now. But anyway, go to my Spotify if you want and help out and watch some more of my YouTube videos. Please share this with anybody that would enjoy it. Stay safe. See you.